We'll leave it at the $500 per day at this time.
$28,500, $75,500.
And sanctions will continue until date of admission.
In Grace Harbor County, the courts are heaping sanctions against DSHS for leaving mentally ill inmates in their jail for months on end, which is against the law. If someone is so mentally ill they can't understand the charges against them, DSHS has 7 days to get them to Western State Hospital for help. But currently, some wait times are 10 months and longer.
The problem started to get worse and worse, and so that's when we sort of decided to take action. Western State, DSHS, is supposed to be paying the bill, but instead, by them violating the statute, we're paying the bill.
And that's rough on local jails. At the Grace Harbor Jail in Montesano, about 20% of the population is now made up of people who are supposed to be in state care, extremely mentally ill defendants.
I've been doing this for over 45 years, and I've never seen anything like this.
Space is tight here. The medical ward is the size of a closet. They have no mental health professionals on staff, or enough staff to safely deal with a crisis. The mentally ill offenders behind these doors are routinely violent. It's hard to make out behind the damaged window, but you can see piles of food containers and garbage on the floor. It's tough to clean out the cell because it takes 4 people to handle the inmates safely. But typically, there's only 4 people on staff for the entire facility.
It's a huge, huge labor-intensive drain on all the resources within our organization.
Fines are piling up across the state. Records show courts have issued sanctions to DSHS in counties including Cowlitz, Pacific, Wahkiakum, Pierce, Whatcom, King, and Grace Harbor, where the tally alone is up to nearly $1 million, about half to help the jail run and the rest to the defendants themselves for the violation of their civil rights.
And for the defendants, that's serious. I mean, they're being held without a trial. The criminal proceedings are stayed. They're not going anywhere. They're just kind of sitting stuck. How do you put a price on that? You know, if you're being detained for months against your due process rights, what should the compensation be?
I'm going to sanction the department $250 per day.
In King County, judges have issued sanctions of $250 per day for dozens of defendants. One of them is the man charged with this brutal light rail attack on a Harborview nurse in March. A judge ordered Alexander J. to receive treatment within 7 days of the order. 10 months later, he's still waiting inside the King County Jail, and the state fines he'll receive are growing, currently at $75,000 for unconstitutionally sitting behind bars.
1, 2, 3, here we go.
A week ago, Governor Inslee helped open the state's first treatment center in a community setting. 16 more beds to help curb the logjam at Western State.
We have been overwhelmed by this tsunami of mental illness that we have suffered, but I think we are moving as fast as humanly possible.
But the governor and DSHS officials say it's not just the state's fault, but the counties share the blame for the crisis in our jails. That law enforcement, courts, and prosecutors are too focused on shoving people through the criminal justice system and allowing them to suffer in jail instead of getting people the help they need. Last week, DSHS filed a legal document saying counties are ignoring their own role in creating the demand by sending an incessant stream of people to Western State to get them mentally stable for trial.
We need counties to be more interested in solving the problem, which is mental health, rather than to be focused just on putting people in jail. If you put somebody in jail and you don't treat the mental health problem, they just reoffend when they come out.
Prosecutors tell us they're trying to keep communities safe and that shifting blame isn't the answer, especially as jails across the state are at the tipping point.
Now, every jail in the state of Washington has become an ad hoc psychiatric facility. We've literally hit the bottom.